Hi, I'm David Highfill. I'm an executive editor at William Morrow at HarperCollins, and I'm here with Peter Swanson, the author of The Girl with a Clock for a Heart, a fantastic debut romantic noir that I think readers are going to love. If you liked Gone Girl, you're going to love this book. So one of my favorite things about this novel is the fact that it's so sexy and so dangerous, and you know that from the first page, that there's a lot of bad stuff about to happen here, but you orchestrate it so carefully. How did you position these two people here in the present, 20 years later? How did you get started with George and Liliana?
The initial story of George and Liliana takes place in college when they meet as freshmen in the 1980s. And it's really a story about identity and starting off with a clean slate, which is something you can't do anymore in today's culture with social media. I feel like students show up at college and they have this whole, you can look them up on Facebook and find out everything about them. But this is a story about a girl from a very bad background who probably is someone who couldn't go to college and finds a way to go to college as a different person than who she is. And then the story is told through the perspective of George, who becomes her boyfriend that year and finds out all sorts of dark and twisted things about her life, and then she disappears from his life. And the main part of the story picks up 20 years later when he's sitting in a bar in Boston and she walks in.
And she knows that, in a way, George has not forgotten her. So she knows she can go to him and say, I'm in trouble, please help me. We readers know this is bad news. But he kind of pretty quickly steps in and says he'll help, right?
Yeah, I think one of the mysteries of the book is we know she's a manipulative person. We know this. And George knows she's a manipulator. But he holds out hope, and part of it is a romantic hope that maybe she's not manipulating him. So one of the tensions of the book is really, is she being genuine with him, or is she just stringing him along? And regardless, even though he knows he might be being strung along, he's going to go for the ride because she's the woman who got away and that he never forgot.
Right. And that she's a very powerful, bright woman. Very attractive, obviously. But I love the fact that, as a reader, we know that she's so many steps ahead of us. And it's you, the creator, who are ahead of us. But she, as a character, is thinking so many more moves down the road than I do as a reader. And I feel like I read all these books. But I love it when you're in the hands of a writer who's confident enough, as you are, and has a character as juicy as she is, that she's just a great protagonist, antagonist for a story like this. It's been really nice to talk to you about this novel, The Girl with a Clock for a Heart, and Peter Swanson. As an editor, I see first novels all the time, but don't pick them up often. And I just am thrilled to find this one and to be able to talk to you about Girl with a Clock for a Heart.